back. We'll take a quick break. On the other side, we have the pre-opening race. Also, we'll have Mark Martin of Martin Consulting to discuss the Indigo promoter stake sale. Later, we will also connect with Avnish Roy of Edelweiss Securities as... Welcome back. Let's quickly track a couple of stocks that will be in focus this morning. Interglobe Aviation is important to track. We learned from sources that the Gangwal family will sell up to 2.8% stake for 2,000 crores in a series of block deals. The indicative price of the block deals is 1850 a piece, and the Indigo stake sales should be done at a 6.5% discount to the current market price. Mark Martin, who's been tracking this space very closely, he's the CEO of Martin Consulting as well, joins in. Mark, good morning and good to have you on the show. You know, this is something that Rakesh Gangwal had indicated earlier, that he would sell his entire holding over a period of 5 years, so it doesn't come as too much of a surprise. But your own thoughts on how to approach this?
Morning, Sonia. Thanks for having me today. I think this is, apart from this setting the price of the stock all crazy and haywire, clearly Rakesh is testing the waters with the stake he has now. 2.5 or 2.8% that's been reported is a wafer thin stake of the in excess 35% plus holding he has in Indigo. So he's clearly testing the waters to see what he could get. I think I don't think this is going to create much of a dent with Indigo from a management, operations, and oversight perspective. Mr. Gangwal is a very smart, astute, and a shrewd investor. So I mean, this is more strategic, and I don't think we should be reading too much between the lines.
Overall, on the business itself, how do you see things, Mark? Because, clearly things are picking up, right? Travel is back, crude oil prices have fallen substantially, and Indigo has been doing much better than its peers. But there's a lot of competition at the same time. What's your view on how things could move from here?
Correct. I think Indigo's the most important thing for them would be to write off the losses they've had over the last 3 years. They've got an uphill task with their whole game plan. Indigo needs to now look and focus more with expanding globally as opposed to increasing any further more flights in India, because they're already quite saturated in the domestic market. And the domestic market, I think, is where we know you are exposing yourself to higher amount of risk. You are exposing yourself to competition. But when you have 290 plus aircraft and you are at pole position with market share, you're not going to worry too much about the competition creating a dent in terms of your market exposure or your product offering. But let's not forget, Air India at the moment is creating a monster in the basement, and a fully rejuvenated, revitalized and revived Air India in 24 months is going to create a dent with everybody. At the moment, it becomes very strategic for Indigo to look at global expansion, because they've expanded enough in India, and reaching out to a wider global Indian diaspora is key. Separately, I must also point out that Air India will at some point in the next 36 months also look at coming up with an IPO, because they will look at phase 2, phase 3 funding as part of the growth strategy. So clearly interesting times, and something which I think every investor should keep an eye out for aviation stock coming up.
Mark, just to go back to that earlier point of Mr. Gangwal selling the stake, you said it's test waters, which basically you were implying that there is, once this goes through, there is going to be, more to come, a steady stream of more blocks?
Hi, morning. Yes, I think, 2.5 or 2.8% is a very, very thin stake. And I'd be worried and surprised, and I would be more, aligned into a crisis if we're selling a 20 to 25% plus. So this is just to look at, what can he fetch in the market from an overall interest level, and I don't think he'd want to do anything to jeopardize Indigo's position, irrespective of his exit being tumultuous. Gangwal isn't the kind of guy who would be vindictive and want to cause any harm to Indigo, an airline that he helped start and create himself. So I don't think it's fair that we start looking at a panic phase here. But what I would like to say is that there would be more stake sales coming up, and they should be. And I would much believe that he would look at offloading this to larger financial institutions and and fund managers in particular.
Got it, Mark. Thanks a lot for joining us today. That's Indigo down about 0.8% for now. Ashish Chadurmota is joining us. The pre-open rates are in, by the way, and what stands out is the dollar rupee. What's clearly telling you is that yesterday